everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I'm MJ. I'm a non-binary and autistic science fiction and fantasy author. This channel is about the craft of writing with a neurodivergent and queer focus. Today, I'm starting a new series that I'm really excited about. How to self-publish your book in 2026. Over the coming months, I'm going to break down every single step of self-publishing. This isn't theory. This is what I've actually do to publish my books. I've self-published 9 books so far across 2 series and 3 standalone novels, and I'm currently working on book 10, which will release in Q1 of 2026. And today's video is the overview. I'm going to give you the roadmap of what self-publishing actually involves, and then in future videos we'll dive into each step. So let's get started. Before we talk about the how, let's talk about the why. Why would someone choose to self-publish instead of pursuing traditional publishing? There are a lot of reasons, and I want to be clear, there is no wrong choice here. Traditional publishing works great for some authors. Self-publishing works great for others. Some authors do both. It's about what's right for you. And here are some reasons authors choose self-publishing. First, self-publishing helps marginalized voices get published. Traditional publishing has gatekeepers, agents, acquisition editors, publishing committees. These gatekeepers often have biases, whether conscious or not. Books with queer characters, trans characters, neurodivergent characters, and BIPOC characters. These books face higher barriers in traditional publishing. Self-publishing lets you bypass those gatekeepers. If traditional publishing doesn't want your book, you can publish it anyway and find your readers directly. Second, self-publishing gives you control. You control your cover design, your book title, your releasing schedule, your pricing, your marketing strategy, your book's content. You don't have any editorial changes that you would disagree with. You also keep more of the profit. Traditional publishing typically pays 10 to 15% in royalties, and self-publishing can give you between 35 to 70% in royalties depending on the platform and the pricing. Third, self-publishing lets you publish on your timeline. Traditional publishing is slow. From signing a contract to seeing your book in stores can take 1 to 2 years or more. Self-publishing, you can go from a finished manuscript to published book in weeks if you want to. Now let's talk about the downsides, because self-publishing isn't all sunshines and rainbows. The biggest downside is that you have to do everything yourself. That means you have to hire your own editor, which costs money. You have to find or create your own cover. You have to format your book. You have to upload it to realtors. You have to handle your own marketing. You have to fund everything upfront. Traditional publishing pays you in advance. Self-publishing, you pay for everything first. Then hopefully you make that money back in sales. On the control side, yes, you get to choose your editor, but you also have to find and vet your editor. You have to manage the editing process. You have to make final decisions about your book. Some authors thrive with that control. Others find it very overwhelming. Here's something important that people don't always talk about. Even traditional publishing, authors have to do marketing. The idea that traditional publishing means that you just write while the publisher handles everything else, that's only true for the top tier of authors. The others, the ones that are getting 6-figure advances and major marketing budgets. For most traditional published authors, especially debut authors, you're still doing your own social media, your own newsletter, your own appearances. The publisher might get you into the bookstores, but you're still building the audience. So when people say, but self-publishing means you have to do your own marketing, yes, but so do most published authors. The real question is, where do you want to put your energy? Do you want to spend years querying agents and waiting for gatekeepers to say yes? Or do you want to spend the energy publishing your book and finding readers directly? For me, I decided to self-publish because I would rather fight to have my voice seen than fight to get published to realize that my voice deserved to be seen. At least this way, my books are finding their way into the hands of people who need them and want them. That's my choice. Your choice might be different. So let's do a quick traditional publishing overview. And let me explain briefly what traditionally publishing looks like so that you can see the difference. So, for the traditional publishing process, you would write and revise your manuscript, query literary agents, and then the agents submit your book to publishers. Publishers offer a contract if interested. You receive advance payments. Publisher assigns editor, cover designers, etc. Book goes through editing and production, and book is released 1 to 2 years later. You earn royalties after earning out your advance. This is a very high overview because I am not a traditionally published author. Some of the pros of traditional publishing are advance payment upfront. Professional editing and design are provided. Distribution to bookstores, potentially. Some marketing support, but this varies widely. And legitimacy and prestige in some circles, which honestly from my point of view is the biggest pro. Some cons of traditional publishing is it's extremely competitive. Most manuscripts are rejected. It takes years from signing to publication. There's less control over your book, there's lower royalty rates, and it still requires authors to do significant marketing. It's also harder for marginalized voices to break in. Again, neither path is wrong, it's about what works for you and your goals. So what's actually involved in the self-publishing process? Well, I'm going to give you the high-level roadmap, and then over the coming months, I'll create detailed videos about each of these steps. So step 1 is finish your manuscript. This seems obvious, but I'm listing it here first because you need a complete manuscript before you start the publishing process. I'm not going to cover writing tips in this series. There are plenty of other resources for that, including videos on this channel. And this series assumes that you have a finished draft and you're ready to move into the publication process. Step 2 is editing. Once you have a finished draft, you need editing. This is one of the most important steps and one you should not skip. There are different types of editing. Developmental editing is big picture, plot, character structure. Line editing is like sentence level, clarity, flow, and style. Copy editing is grammar, punctuation, consistency. And proofreading is a final check for typos. You might need all of these, or you might just need some of them depending on your manuscript, your budget, and how many books you have written and published. Professional editing costs money. Depending on your book's length and the type of editing, you're looking at anywhere from a few hundred to several $1,000s. I'll have future videos about how to find editors, how to evaluate if an editor is right for you, and what to expect from the editing process. So step 3, alpha readers, beta readers, and ARC readers. Before and after editing, you might want work with readers who give you feedback. Alpha readers typically read your book in the earliest drafts and give big picture feedback. These might be writing friends or critique partners. Beta readers read your revised manuscript, often after developmental editing but before final polishing, and they give feedback on whether the story works. They're reading as readers, not as editors. ARC readers, or advanced review copy readers, read your final polished manuscript before publication and write reviews for launch. These are all different roles, and I'll break down how to find these readers and work with them in future videos. Step 4, cover design. Your cover is incredibly important. It's the first thing potential readers see, and it needs to communicate your genre and grab attention. You have options. You can hire a cover designer, which can range anywhere from $50 to over $1,000. You can buy pre-made covers, which typically range between $50 to $200, or you can make your own cover. I'll be honest, making your own cover is really risky unless you have design skills. A bad cover can kill your book's sales, even if the writing is great. In future video, I will talk about how to connect with cover designers, where to find pre-made covers, and what makes a good cover for your genre. I'll also talk about why making your own covers may not be the best choice, even though it's tempting to save money, and why I maybe kind of break that choice. Step 5, formatting. Once your manuscript is edited, your cover is ready and you need to format your book for publication. This means creating ebook files, EPUBs, print interior files if you're doing paperback, audiobook files if you're doing audio. You can format manually, but it's time consuming and easy to mess up. I have moved to using Vellum, which is a Mac-only software that makes formatting incredibly easy, and it costs about $250 for the full version, but it's a one-time purchase and it's been worth every penny for me. There are other formatting tools available, including free options, and I'll cover formatting options in detail in future videos. Step 6, ISBNs. ISBN stands for International Standard Book Number. It's the unique identifier for your book. The question is, do you need to buy your own ISBNs, or can you use free ones on Amazon or other platforms? This is very controversial, but my short answer is I recommend buying your own ISBNs if you can afford it. And here's why. When you use a free ISBN from Amazon, Amazon is listed as the publisher. When you buy your own ISBN, you or your publishing imprint is listed as the publisher. And this matters for professional legitimacy, control over your book's information, and flexibility to publish wide, not just on Amazon. ISBNs cost money in the US. They're about $125 for one, or $295 for 10 through a Bowker. And that is a significant upfront cost, especially if you're just starting out. I'll have a video specifically about ISBNs, whether you should buy them, how to buy them, and how to use them. Step 7, copyright. This is really important, and there's a lot of bad advice floating around about copyright. Some people will tell you that just publishing your book counts as copyright protection. While it's true that your work is technically copyrighted as soon as you create it, that's not enough if you ever need to defend your work legally. If you want full legal protection, especially if you ever need to sue someone for copyright infringement, you need to formally register your copyright with the U.S. Copyright Office. And here's a concrete example. The recent lawsuit where publishers and authors sued AI companies like Anthropic for training on copyrighted works without permission. To have legal standing in those lawsuits, the works need to be formally registered with the Copyright Office. Just publishing your books isn't being held in court as significant copyright protection, and you need that formal registration. The good news is that registering copyright is relatively inexpensive, about $65 per work in the US, and it's worth doing. I'll have a future video walking through exactly how to register your copyright step by step. Step 8, uploading to retailers. Once your book is formatted, you need to upload it to retailers so people can actually buy it. The big question here is, should you go exclusive to Amazon, Kindle Unlimited, or should you go wide, multiple platforms? Amazon offers a program called Kindle Unlimited, or KU, where readers pay a monthly subscription and can read unlimited books from authors enrolled in the program. If you enroll in KU, you get paid based on pages read, but the catch is your ebook must be exclusive to Amazon. You can't sell it or give it away anywhere else. Going wide means you publish on multiple platforms: Amazon, Kobo, Barnes & Noble, Apple Books, Google Play, and others. I am wide. I publish on Amazon, Kobo, Barnes & Noble, Apple Books, and I use Draft2Digital and Ingram Sparks for additional distribution. I also sell directly from my website. There are pros and cons to both approaches, and I'll have a dedicated video about why I chose to go wide and what that looks like in practice. I'll also have tutorial videos for how to upload your books to each major platform, including some insider tips like how to request access to Kobo's marketing dashboard, which gives you promotional tools that aren't automatically available. Step 9, direct sales. In addition to selling through retailers, you can sell directly to readers from your own website. This is my favorite way to sell because you keep more of the profit, there's no retailer taking a cut, you can build direct relationships with your readers, you can offer exclusive bundles or editions, and you can get customer email addresses for marketing. Setting up direct sales requires some technical setup, but it's absolutely worth it, and I'll have a future video introducing direct sales and how to get started. Step 10, launch strategy. Once your book is ready and uploaded, you need a launch strategy. This is where I'm going to reference Lori from Pubcraft. She's my marketing consultant, and she has this incredibly detailed book launch checklist that breaks down everything you need to do before, during, and after your launch. I'll be referencing her resources and shouting her out because she knows her launch strategy inside and out. Her checklist has been invaluable for my launches. A good launch strategy includes pre-launch buzz building, cover reveals, pre-orders, ARC reader coordination, social media posts, newsletter announcements, launch day follow-ups, and post-launch follow-ups. We'll dive deep into launch strategy in a future video, and I'll link to Lori's resources so you can use her checklist too. Step 11, marketing. This is a separate series. Marketing is its own beast, and honestly, I don't think it should be part of the self-publishing series. Why? Because marketing is an ongoing process. It's not a one-time step, and I'm still figuring out how to do marketing successfully myself. Instead of including marketing in this series, I'm planning on separate videos where I share what I'm actually doing and learning about marketing. For example, in February, I'm planning a video about setting up BookBub ads, and later I'll probably do a follow-up video honestly looking at my ad performance and what I learned. Marketing deserves its own space where I can be real about what's working and not working and what I'm experimenting with. So a quick word about platforms. I mentioned this earlier and it's worth emphasizing. One of your biggest decisions is whether to go exclusive on Amazon or publish wide across multiple platforms. Amazon Kindle Unlimited, or KU, can be lucrative for some authors, especially in certain genres like romance. You get paid for pages read, and readers who consume a lot of books don't have to pay for them individually. But you can't publish your ebooks anywhere else. Publishing wide means more work. You have to upload to multiple platforms. It also means you're not dependent on one retailer. You reach readers who don't use Amazon. You have more control over your business, and you're not subject to Amazon's changing policies alone. I chose to go wide, and I'll have a detailed video about why I made that choice and what my experience has been. For audiobooks, I work with a narrator, and there are other options, including producing audiobooks yourself or doing shared sale arrangements through platforms like ACX, which is Amazon's audiobook platform. But let's be realistic. I want to be honest with you about self-publishing because there's a lot of quit your day job and make six figures hype out there, and that's not the reality for most authors. Self-publishing takes time to learn the process and do it well. It takes money for editing, covers, ISBNs, and marketing. It takes patience. Building an audience takes time. It takes persistence. Your first book probably won't be a bestseller. Most self-published authors don't make a lot of money in their first book, or their second, or sometimes even their third. Success in self-publishing usually comes from publishing multiple books, growing a backlist, growing your audience over time, learning what works for your genre and readers, and continually improving your craft and your marketing. I'm working to build a sustainable full-time author career, and I'm figuring it out as I go. I'm going to be honest in these videos about what's working and what's not working and what I'm learning. But I have been publishing for a while. This series isn't about promising you overnight success. It's about giving you a real practical information that you need to publish your books professionally. So what's coming in this series? Over the coming months, I'll be releasing videos covering each step of the self-publishing process in detail. Here is what you can expect. We'll cover the publishing process, such as finding and working with editors, alpha readers, beta readers, and ARC readers, cover designs, working with designers, buying pre-made covers, and why DIY may not be the answer, formatting your book, including why I use vellum, ISBNs, should you buy them, and how, copyright registration, why it matters and how to do it, launch strategy, pulling from lawyers' resources, and we'll cover platform distributions, such as should you go wide or exclusive for Amazon, why I chose to go wide, how to upload to Apple Books, how to upload to Kobo, including requesting marketing dashboard access, how to upload to Barnes & Noble, how to use Draft2Digital, and an introduction to direct sales. This series will probably extend beyond 2026 because there is a lot to cover. I might release 2 of these videos in a month, sometimes depending on what else I'm working on. The goal is to create a comprehensive resource that walks you through every step of self-publishing based on what I actually do to publish my books. And if there's anything specific you would like to see, let me know in the comments down below. Self-publishing isn't easy. It's a lot of work. It costs money up front, and there are no guarantees. But self-publishing also gives you control, lets you publish on your timeline, and helps marginalized voices get their stories out in the world. For me, self-publishing was the right choice because I wanted my books in the hands of readers who needed them, and I didn't want to wait for gatekeepers to decide I was worthy. Whether self-publishing is right for you is a decision only you can make. But if you decide it is, I'm going to walk you through exactly how to do it. This series will give you the roadmap. You'll learn from my experiences, both what worked and what didn't. And hopefully, by the end of the series, you'll feel confident about publishing your own book. What questions do you have about self-publishing? Drop them in the comments. I'll try to cover them in future videos in the series. If you found this helpful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more writer content every Tuesday. I host live writing sprints on Fridays from 6:30 to approximately 8:30 p.m. Mountain Time. Come right with me. If you want to support the channel, you can buy me a coffee. The link is below. Next week, we're talking about why I'm writing short stories and why you might want to consider it too. As always, keep reading, keep writing, and keep dreaming.